Hopefully, what I'm going to show you today will really make you think about the power you have in your hands. A lot of people out there in YouTube land want to call themselves filmmakers. They love to use the word cinematic. Okay, so you can do blurry backgrounds and slow motion in 12K. So what? Who cares? What's your point? What's the message? How does it affect people's lives and make a difference in the world? Here's a script I did back in 1997, registered with the Writers Guild of America. You could call it science fiction, but it's more science fact. This is a highly researched project based on real issues. When I wrote it back in 97, it was a little ahead of its time and nobody cared. But now it's more pertinent than ever. I made a trailer for it 15 years ago to help people visualize the movie. I'm going to tell you the story premise first, then I'll show you the trailer, and then I'll show you the behind the scenes of how I made that powerful trailer with nothing more than a camcorder from 2005. If you want to be a filmmaker, then make it count. My script focuses on two very important and real issues. What if you went to your sink and nothing came out? And there was no more water for the toilet because your town or your city or the entire state or even the whole country had no more fresh water. This is more realistic than you might be aware. The world is using up fresh water faster than it can be replenished, and all the desalination in the world cannot handle 8 billion people. You use a lot more water than you think, and most of it is not the water that your house uses. For example, how many cows, pigs, and chickens do you run through your body in 1 year? Do you know how much water it takes to raise all those cows, pigs, and chickens from birth to slaughter? How much water it took to grow all the crops that fed that huge cow over a lifetime? It takes more water to raise one cow than it does to float a battleship.
We are running out of water. The Ogallala Aquifer is the nation's largest underground water supply. It stretches 800 miles from South Dakota to Texas, and it's almost tapped dry. The economists say that our economy in the central United States could collapse in just a matter of months if that happened. We're a society of consumers. That's what we do. Consume. And this is all real, folks. This is really happening. And it's happening now. We're running out of water.
The biggest source of fresh water in the world are the polar ice caps, and it is the purest water on Earth. It was created in prehistoric times. Did you know California, Saudi Arabia, and Australia considered towing an iceberg as a source of fresh water? This is true. This actually happened. The problem is they start melting when they hit warmer waters, so you'd have to start with something like 10 times bigger than what you need. And how do you tow something the size of a small country? It would require 1,000 ships.
When icebergs melt, they can roll over.
Have you ever seen something the size of Manhattan roll over?
And you want me to hook ships up to it?
Okay, second issue. Is this what you have in your fridge and cupboards? Modern processed commercial junk, bread, beer, sugar, dairy, cereal, cookies, cheese, and oily fried crap? Have you taken antibiotics in the last 10 years? Or do you smoke or vape? Or do you sit at a computer all day and not exercise very much? Then you're setting yourself up for disaster, because the three biggest killers in the modern world are heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. And almost all of it is diet and lifestyle related. That's why I created my health channel, thehealthylife.com, because people's immune systems are so weak nowadays because it doesn't take much to wipe them out, as you can see with what's happening in the world now. So that's issue number 2. All right, so here's a very fast summary of the story. It'll help you appreciate the trailer even more. And I also want you to notice how I took two very important subjects and I made them entertaining. A billionaire assembles the world's largest fleet of ships to tow the world's largest iceberg. But that's just the setting. As it's being towed, scientists discover buried in the ice a fully intact dinosaur with skin and everything. They're very excited. They set up base camp with hot lights and everything. And all the scientists start dying within minutes. And they go, oh my God, is this what killed the dinosaurs? Well, wait a minute, I thought an asteroid is what killed the dinosaurs. Well, yeah, an asteroid hit the Earth and blacked out the sky. What happens when you black out the sky? All the plants die. That's the food supply of the dinosaurs, and the air is toxic. So now the immune system is weakened, and when the immune system is weakened, bacteria and viruses grow like crazy, become stronger, and win. Well, just like what's happening in the world today, everybody in the story is eating modern processed junk food. They're not very healthy, and the realization is we are the next dinosaur. Enjoy the trailer.
today that America has run out of water as more and more places in the central and southwestern United States have become uninhabitable. The little water that is left is too contaminated for consumption. The search for fresh water has gone global.
Who would have guessed one day water would be worth more than oil or gold?
It always has been. We just didn't know it.
90% of the Earth's fresh water is ice. Enquist Industries has assembled the most massive fleet of ships, enough to bring in the largest iceberg ever seen in the Northern Hemisphere. 50 miles wide and 10 miles long. The most ambitious civil undertaking ever of its kind. Enough water to save us all.
This guy doesn't know anything about icebergs.
Imagine touring Manhattan with skyscrapers falling off at random.
This is crazy.
This thing is bigger than some countries. Isn't this great?
I hate the cold. What do you need me for? I'm a biochemist.
We found something in the ice. Something big. Something 20 million years old, perfectly preserved in the ice.
You're not gonna believe this. We have the find of the century here.
It's a freaking dinosaur with skin and everything.
Man, it stinks in here. Damn. Methane levels are going to the roof.
I don't feel too good.
Martin, get out of there now! Quarantine everything now! Clear out, clear out. Everybody tell them what's flying.
That thing is gonna kill us all! Nothing can work that fast.
Whatever it is, it kills in minutes.
Whether this gets into the air or the ocean currents. If this is what killed the dinosaurs, what chance do we have?
There's always a chance.
This entire part of the ocean needs to be sterilized, and we need to act now!
How do you vaporize something the size of Mount Everest?
Gentlemen, we have a code red. Arm missiles 1, 2, and 3.
This is crazy. There's still 40 ships out there. Wait! Not all the dinosaurs died.
Open the hatches.
We need to launch now.
My daughter's on that ship out there!
You're the best there is.
What you just saw was made in 2005 with an even older camcorder.
This guy doesn't know anything about icebergs.
I did pretty much everything myself. The camera, the lighting, the sound, I built the props, some of which you get a real kick if you knew how I did them, like this airplane seat. I acquired the costumes, I even did the makeup like this one here, and this one here, which is actually just flour and water. The trick is knowing what you can get away with. Except for the first 2 shots, the entire iceberg trailer was shot in my little backyard studio, which back then was about the size of a 2-car garage. And then I'd have the actors come by one. Every single actor that was filmed was shot alone. To this day, these 2 actors have never physically met. Every person was filmed in front of a blue screen, so I had total freedom to put whatever background I wanted in, which I could also change later if I decided I didn't like it. I then created the backgrounds with computer 3D programs and comped them in with motion jitter and distance blur. A lot of people are only seen from the waist up, so many of them weren't even wearing pants. Why have it if you don't need it? You'd be amazed what I got away with. Like this shot. If you slow the shot down, you'll notice that all the people in the background are the same guy that's in the foreground. As a matter of fact, this one guy is the only guy running around in the background of the submarine and all the military shots. I just gave him different shirts and jackets to wear and then just stuck them in the background a bunch of times. The giant Assembly Hall press conference was also created entirely in the computer. The speaker was just spouting off by himself and the audience was just 3 people in different costumes repeated over and over. The ships in Iceberg were all computer generated, as were the ship interiors. Of course, this is just a concept promo, so I just used whatever I had to sell the idea. If this was a real movie, there'd be real sets and the shots would be much better quality, but you get the idea. For just selling an idea to investors, what I did here with a basic old camcorder is more than good enough to get the point across and help people visualize the finished movie. It's not about having the best gear, it's about being resourceful with what you have and pouring your heart out creatively, and that passion is infectious. Anything is possible when great minds get together. Anything. It's not about having lots of money, just people who believe in the craft of filmmaking and not the politics.
That thing's a monster.
What you just saw was filmed with a camcorder from 2005, not in 4K, not even 1080p, it was just 720 by 480. Sure, the actual movie would be filmed with big expensive cameras, but for YouTube and just selling an idea to investors, any camera will do. This little 720 by 480 2005 camcorder could theoretically raise $50 million. Then when you get the big money, you get the big cameras to make the big movie. But my point is, always use what you have right now, because that's your first step of 1,000 miles. That's the journey start. Always use what you have to get the job done, to get you to the next level. That's what I've always done, and never complain. There's always a way to do it. No excuses. Just use what you have. I hope what I did inspired you. I'll see you in the next video.
I've never felt better in my life, I swear to God. Is this hat straight, Marcus?
Who cares?
Oh,